other crap that I've been going through, stuff.
Just text me when you're available, and
Okay.
we'll
We
figure
can
it
do
out.
it over Telegram then. We can just
Perfect.
phone over Telegram. Okay, cool.
Perfect. And he's still gone.
Oh,
No,
I'm
he's
sorry.
there.
I'm just
He just ducked. He just
grabbing
did
my mouse. Yeah. How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Ian?
Sehr gut.
Sehr gut. Oh.
Sehr gut, yeah.
better than the last couple of days.
Ganz gut.
Yeah, well, Audrey, you've just been having nothing but a conveyor belt of kicks to the you-know-what.
Yeah. Yeah. The camel that broke the
camel that broke the straw back.
Yeah.
Yeah, the camel that broke the straws back.
was being called on my character. Someone called the cops.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
And you know who it would have been, Audrey Lynn, you know, one of two people.
I can't imagine.
Wow.
So, yeah. And Paul and I are going to make all of this, his life and my life, into a movie or a soap opera. We're not sure.
Man, it's going to be just...
the soap opera would be better because it's ongoing.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess, right?
The ongoing
soap opera. The repetitive cycles. And go, she's starting to go into that cycle again. Oh, here he's going into that cycle again. Okay, it's good. Okay.
Do they still have soap operas?
Yeah, yes.
Are they still around?
Yeah.
Isn't that
the Bold and the Beautiful are still around?
What are?
It's called Bold and Beautiful.
Oh, I thought Young and the Restless was still out too.
The Young and the Breastless, yeah, that one's still around.
Yeah.
Well, I remember.
I thought that those real life shows. They're not called real life. What are
Survivor.
they?
Survivor.
Yeah, reality TV is the soap opera.
Oh, yeah.
Those two, yeah.
Now it's called The Great Reset.
The one I remember is called The Edge of Night.
Oh, that one's over though. Yep, that one's over.
I think that one's been gone for
that one ended a long time ago. Yeah. I remember my mom watching that religiously.
Oh, brother.
Leave It to Beaver.
Oh, was that a soap opera?
That's not a soap opera,
isn't it?
No.
What is it?
It's more like the Brady Bunch or something.
Yeah,
like that,
it's more of a spoof cartoon, I thought.
Yeah, see, it was before my time, and I've heard it in conjunction with things like Young and the Restless. And the only reason I know about the Young and the Restless was because it was right before Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh, yeah.
On CBC.
Oh God, we're dating ourselves.
Channel 9 on the dial.
and adjust those rabbit ears.
And sometimes you have to stand there and hold it for the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And if you were lucky, sometimes during December, if you were lucky, you could watch it in French. At the same time, you could switch back and forth. It was English and then go, and it's like French. And it's the same scene and everything. And you're just like, oh, wow, that's amazing. CBC radio and TV was a miracle to me. That they were able to synchronize all of that communication and be ever present. It was like God. You could just turn the radio dial and there it was.
Did you take the opportunity to learn your French by flipping in between the channels?
No. French. I didn't even hear French other than on the TV until I was like 16, 17 years old.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, there you go. That's a great intro to market analysis. Who knows what's going to happen today?
Where are we going today?
Ought we have a plan? Because really, will it matter?
Oh,
I do
freeform is
figure
so
out
much
what's
more
going on
fun.
It's that all that's saying. Stranger than fiction really rings true nowadays, eh? All right, so let's start off with some crypto stuff here. Bitcoin dominance still trending downwards in the long run. We can see that that trend line is providing some great resistance. Hung along it there for a little while, but that's a steep drop already with a lower low. That's a key point there. Can you see this when I do this? No, that's not working right now. Let me go see if I can. I think this might do it. No, I'm not seeing the. I've got a little tool where I can draw on there. That's okay. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here.
Considering this a downtrend? You know,
In
say
the
from
yeah, on the daily chart, it is a downward trend.
Okay.
Simply because this low here is so much lower than this one. And this one beat that one first, right? So this was the A, B, C, and then, this is the D extension here on this pivot point. Coming back up again, we've only been able to put pressure really here. Banker's candle notwithstanding, of course, that brought us back to this resistance here. So this is a downward trend technically. We do have a higher high, but we're following this long-term trend line on the daily. If we go back, if we were to zoom in, here's the 4-hour chart. We can see that this is technically consolidation. Because this is the high here. And this is the low. And we haven't been able to get back up there. We've tested it a couple of times, and now we're low again. And of course, lower is what we want in this case. Bitcoin dominance. Next, going to go to Bitcoin against gold, because I believe this is going to be a trend to watch, especially since Bitcoin is purported to be the digital gold. And gold, of course, being now extremely necessary for computer chips, at least for the next little while, I think we're going to see a trend here. We're going to see a significant trend form. There's already been trending occurring. You can see on the daily chart here. We've analyzed this in the past when we've looked at the weekly chart to see how these prices compared. Every time gold was up here in that $37 range, that price has been very different every single time. And now we're creating lower lows on gold. We are significantly lower than this previous low when you look at the amount of ounces that is.
Well, there was quite the jump there on that June.
Oh,
right
yeah.
there, right there. Like on the daily
Yep.
chart, there's a huge gap.
Yep, you're absolutely right. That is a huge gap. That is from a Friday to a Monday. That would be the gold. I think I recall that. Where it was just like, whoa, gold does not usually go up that much. Audrey, could you recall that? Weren't we there that day even? Where we're just like, hey, look at what this means. Whenever we see this, it typically never comes back. Like it means it's going in that direction for a very long time. Whenever we see that kind of thing. It happened here as well. Yeah, but I mean, this just the way this was. Bouncing up and then screaming up like that, that's something. And
Well, in
sure enough.
that was August 22nd, 22. And then on the gold chart, there was no major uptick in gold at all.
No. Then that means that it was in Bitcoin. Let's go to that chart. No, because this is Bitcoin against the US dollar. It must have been in just the way that the data is coming through TradingView. Must be.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a bunch. That's the thing. Look, there's a bunch of these, but we're not measuring against the dollar. So my argument about the whole skipping thing, I do recall that day though, where we saw that happen in gold prices with the US dollar. But yeah, there we go. I think we're going to be watching that trend quite a bit. And it's important. It's important. This is a great way to start practicing thinking in different currencies. We need to get away from thinking in the collapsing currencies. We need to be moving our minds towards being agile with these currencies. And so when we look at things like gold, Bitcoin, this helps start leaving the value of the dollar into the history where it belongs. Silver consolidating since that big jump. That's to be expected. Look at the size of this. So this is what we call, this is a really good lesson. There is a metric that is one of the most important metrics in trading. When you're analyzing a trade for execution, one of the first tools you have to bring out is called the average true range. So I'm going to bring that tool up right now. Average true range. The average true range is the measurement of the size of the candles. I'm going to keep it at 14 just for that purposes, but I'm going to brighten it up so that we can see it. The ATR is measuring in units the average size of the most recent 14 bars. So the range of the bars. So you can see it really takes a spike here. And the reason that measurement goes up is because you can see these bars are getting really long. And that increases the average true range of every bar. That's why it's ATR. This indicates whenever we see an increase in ATR, this indicates a trend setting price action. If it's high and it stays high, we can see a lot of velocity, but that might not necessarily mean there will be volatility. When the ATR jumps up, that lets us know that we're going into periods of volatility, and those are great opportunities. Dollar cost average all your way through. Don't trade when the ATR is way up high. You want to trade in this part here when the ATR starts to die away. And the slower it can die away, the more money you'll make. Then that's where we start looking at things from a macro level. On the daily chart, we can get an idea of trend setting volatility by looking at the ATR. Well, look at this now. We are making that the proverbial handles hockey stick is now happening with the average true range of the bars. So the volatility that we saw even in this area here, trends absolutely precedent setting. The last time it's never been. That's a brand new high for ATR that we had in October of 2025. The last time the bars had that kind of volatility was way over here in August of 2020. Let's go to the weekly. Here we go. There's the big one. August 2011. Do I have everything here? Oh, no. Look at the volatility down here, back here in the 80s. Look at that. Amazing. So yeah, this ATR is just screaming. What is this last one? This one is 80. The ATR was 4.71. Today, Currently 5.28, but this curve is going straight up.
So are we saying then that it's going to drop?
If it were to drop,
When you look at the last two times, it went high.
yep.
It dropped quite quickly thereafter.
Yes. Yes. It will do that. And I think what's going to happen is that this is going to be another rug pull where they need to make sure that they're extracting the wealth from as many people as humanly possible. It's great when you can get the liberal voters to just sit back and they'll just pay the money without a fight. But those freedom fighters, you watch out. They'll actually stack that gold and silver. So you want to make sure you bring things back to a place where now it's too late for them to sell. And so this kind of thing can't fluctuate too much. That's why whenever it occurs, it comes back. It might be higher, but it just returns back. They just renegotiate everything because they're losing too much money when that happens. So the reset is going to be timed with yes, and I think it's going to be 10 times what we're seeing today.
So here's another question. Will this set a new baseline? In other words,
I believe so.
Are we looking at not another drop down into the valley like we saw in 1980 and again in 2011, but are we going to see now it's just going to go sideways and therefore set a new baseline, which will make the previous two blips inconsequential?
I am of the mind, and you're dead on. I'm of the mind that what we're witnessing is the transference. This is bigger than just a transition. This is the transference of all assets into a digital, into real world assets. And it's whoever controls the most amount of trade routes in that data that's going to end up on top. Silver is currently one of the most important metals that we have in the production of electronics. We've got it for medical purposes because it's a microbial, and it's what's the other word? Antibacterial. It's great for electronics. Gold, same thing. Electronics, we're going to be seeing a lot of demand simply because they need to extract as much wealth out of the tech industry as possible. We're transferring into a whole different type of computer chip, into a whole different type of world, entirely different type of world when it comes to media. As a result, this .com bubble, right? We're just doing it again now with a different technology, but this technology is way bigger than anything we've ever done. This again goes back to the printing press. Think of it this way. I believe there's a reason why it was called the Tower of Babel and that our languages were unified. It was because I believe that tower was a monument of machinery, a testament to our ability to speak the same language. That's what I think. And I'm just going to throw that out there because it's crazy, and I like being told I'm crazy for how I think. Because it lets me know I'm probably more on right track than what we're fed from the media. So silver, once they're done using the whole scarcity mindset to get us to be fearful of some terrible enemy that's going to get all the silver and make all of the AIs beat our silver-backed AIs, right? Because they got to build these archaic computer chips for a couple more years to squeeze out every penny they possibly can out of the fraud. So when this is all done, what we're going to see, I believe, is a renegotiation of energy contracts globally. Everything has been based off the dollar. Every energy contract is going to be renegotiated. And whether that is, now we're going to be using bricks. Oh, no, we're going to use the new thing that America invented. Look, Bitcoin. We're going to use whatever is available to us to catch all of these people into our little funnel so that we continue having the control and we can create more division and make sure that they can't work together.
What are your thoughts on the silver reclamation after all these data centers and whatnot are irrelevant, or those chips are irrelevant?
They're gonna be great paintball arenas.
No, but I mean about the technology of silver reclamation from these chips.
Oh, I see. Just think of how, I think we're going to be seeing very dystopian conditions when it comes to this tech and all of it gets built. This is a weapon. The phone was a weapon. It was a $10 billion weapon, the amount that they've invested into that technology. They're doing it again. They're creating a weapon. And
can you expand on that? What do you mean by weapon?
The phone is the weapon because what it's done is that it's gotten people to look at the entire world through a glass surface.
Sure. Yep.
Yep. And AI is now duplicating that it's making it replicatable, but now on virtually every media consumption device that will ever be invented. And so we are literally going to have two separate worlds. I resonate with the idea that you're going to have two people in the field and one of them is just going to disappear because they will literally be living in a completely different world.
Well, that's already happening in respect of people leaving the big cities. Like, look at you and I. We are essentially disappearing from mainstream view. I know that I feel very unrelatable to the folks that I know in Edmonton, and it breaks my heart. And it's just the way it is. But back to the point, Ian, about the phone being a weapon. Think about how life was when you were in your 20s or 30s. And did you mostly communicate with people face to face or through email or fax or the phone?
Face to face, yep.
Yeah, face to face. We don't have that now.
Yep.
Even this here, this is not face to face. This is my face to this screen.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There is still this disconnect. So for me, as much as it is a challenge being out in the public and witnessing this immense destruction, it is so beneficial to meet with others, to do things like we're going to do this weekend at the market. It's going to be a lot of fun. But our lives have been interrupted because of technology, and for me, it is the desire to have more interpersonal, face-to-face communications.
Very good.
Yes. Thank you for that. And the renegotiation will level out that price again, and some of it might even not look like this at all. Like the US dollar might not be called that at all. This chart will just stop reporting one day. That could happen just as much.
Which chart?
The silver.
Oh.
Was what are you basing it off? This is the price in US dollars. Well, that could literally just vanish one day because reset's all done. Might still be called a dollar, but everything's going to be renegotiated globally. It's a global currency reset. gold. Let's go check out some of the other ones here. It's been a while since we've gone through a good precious metals here. Gold. I'm going to keep that ATR. That's actually nice to keep up there. Remember, whenever it goes up, you can expect there to be volatility. It's about how long can that volatility stay up, where the average ATR stays, but it doesn't trend. There's lots of money to be made whenever that happens. Hey, Maureen. This price action here, you can see how it died out, and then it took a bit. It was moving, but it was just moving fairly slowly, so the ATR stayed low. But then when that ATR came up, now we've been getting volatility again. So we've been raising the shelf of volatility every single time. It's exciting. Here's the Dow Jones still going up. Created a new high yesterday and the day before. Today, just below it. But it's really encouraging because, Trump got rid of the drug dealing president or whatever. Ethereum consolidating still in that price pattern since November 21st. It is good to see that the lows are getting higher, but technically what we're seeing is a wedge. Got that line there, and this one forming beautifully. This may carry on for a little while. This point here comes all the way into February. So it could very well continue on for the rest of the month. However, we have to be mindful that this is tech. This is the tech year. This is the year of application. We're going to be seeing the great onboarding, I believe, here in the next little while. Midnight. Consolidating. In fact, finding actually a lower range on this consolidation. We'll see how long it can keep that. If it drops down, we may see it retest some of these lines down here at around the 5 or 6 cents. Dollar cost average. ADA. Oh, this is the 2-hour chart. Let's go to the daily. ADA showing some strength here over the last week, is now pulling back from that resistance that we had at 41 cents. You can see, though, what's great about this pattern here. I'm going to zoom in on the 2-hour chart so we can see a little bit more detail. What's great about this pattern is that we can see how this line here, you know what? I'm just going to grab this line right here, adjust it. This pivot point here provided some major resistance in the past. Getting up above it is a big win. And the fact that this high came up so much higher than this trend, right? This trend started here, it technically started here, but this is the next target. So on a short-term basis, this presently shows a 24% potential. The reason I'm saying this is important is because when we look at that daily chart, let's go to the weekly. When we look at that weekly chart and we follow the patterns of what has happened after a nice, big, strong A to B, we get an idea of what's possible. And so by marking this out, we can see that we are in a deep retracement, retesting C. The likelihood of us bumping off of this in the time frame that we're currently in, this presents an incredible opportunity. And I've said many times, most of the money happens in recovery. That's 268% to recover on the daily trend. To recover on the weekly trend, it's 686%. And I know that we are going to be bringing in considerably more market capitalization in this next run. This market capitalization showed an increase 2,600%. That's 26x preseason to the peak. When you're setting up your exit strategy, by the way, I'll show you how to do that. Your exit strategy is actually here. That's your best exit strategy. Why? Does anybody know why that would be the best place to exit, and how do you time that? You don't know. You don't know. But that's the target. And the closer that you can sell there, the better you can dollar cost average, 5 months later, June, July. Yeah, so from May to July, sorry. You wait and you do it again, because this is where most of the money's made.
Well, the ATR is showing that ramp up. So closer you get, the higher you get, the more prepared you should be to sell or get out.
That's right.
Is that what you're saying?
Correct. And you want to buy when that ATR, while the ATR is dropping, because it's going to drop. It very seldom maintains a shelf. It usually goes like this.
It's interesting, even though the ATR is going sideways there, right? No, to your left, right there, going sideways at the peak, more to your right, right there. So from there to the right, it's going sideways, but it's on the graph, on the chart, it's actually dropping quite significantly.
Yes.
So it's not indicative of the actual market. It's, as you said, it actually indicates the true range of the bars.
Yep. And the reason why it took this long to go down, even though the price action itself didn't really go very far, but this volatility maintained this ATR for a little while, because it's taking the average of the 14, right? But that always presents the most opportunity, because if you take a look in that time, remember, these are weekly candles. So this ATR, while it ramps up like this, you find that once it starts to peak, where it's like it reaches a high, obviously, that's when you start dollar cost averaging as it starts to deplete, because you know that as you dollar cost average, the price will find that equilibrium before the next impulse. So in this time, when this was up here, here's where that stops. Here is where you start buying.
Now, why does the ATR drop? Like, it would seem to me that the lower the ATR is, the smaller the bars on the chart are, correct?
Yes,
Is that the logic?
that's correct.
Okay, so your bottom point there, right to the right of where you had it, yeah, right there, the bottom point should be the smallest chart or smallest bar on the chart.
Yep.
But that again is relative to the current time frame, because if you go all the way to the far side of the chart, right there where it's flat at the bottom, you got these tiny, nothing,
right,
tiny bars.
Right. And if I zoom in, now it looks like something, because it is something. Back then, this was something else. Yes. Look at that ATR. Look at the volatility. And then all of a sudden, it looks like nothing, simply because the ATR is scaled way up here now. So this ATR growth, and this is the weekly chart. can I do a monthly? Yeah, I think I can do a monthly here. Yeah. Oh shoot, I can even do a 6 month, but I don't think we'll need that much. I'm just gonna go to the monthly. Look at that. So that ATR, because it's 14, right? So it needs 14 bars. Starts painting right here. Just drops and drops and drops and drops. And January 2021. So what is the ATR doing since then? Just basically dying down. A little bit of jump up here. Dying down. So it's now this is the time.
To buy.
And you buy and you buy and you buy and you buy until you are making a new high in ATR. So look at how high this is, right? Here you stop buying. So look at how we, if we look at that, like these highs here are crazy. Let's go to the high right there. Yeah, okay, look at that. There's a new high. Let's zoom in a little bit on the weekly. No, yeah, that works.
Now, does it work here the same as on the ATR as it does on the charts, that the longer timelines govern the shorter timelines? Like the
Yes.
monthly would govern the weekly, the weekly the daily, the hourly.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, here we go. That ATR came screaming up. In fact, I think I can even measure the increase of ATR. Yes, this is not the increase in price. I am measuring the increase in ATR.
The size
10x.
of the bar.
That's right. So that's 1,000% increase from, I'll zoom in. That is January 2018 to February, or sorry, January 21. That was January 18th of 2021 to February. A month. ATR went up 1,000%.
Okay, can we look at that right there, that long bar?
Yep.
Now it entered that bar at near the top. So
Yep.
even though the market dropped way down to that bottom point,
Mm-hmm.
it still exited the bar even higher than it entered.
Yes.
So
all in 1 week. February 2021. Let's zoom in. Let's get. Do you want to see more detail on it?
sure, let's do that.
Okay.
Daily.
Let's go to the daily. That'll increase the number of bars we see. That's 2023. There we go. Look at that. It even happened in a day.
Yeah, it's right there. Boy, that was all in one day.
Yep. That all happened. It went down, went up a little bit, went down 85% and came right back up again.
In one day.
In one day. But here's what I would.
So that 1 week bar is that the length of it is actual 1 day, what happened in 1 day.
Yeah. Yeah, that 1 day made that 1 week bar look like that.
Huh.
And here's probably, here's Friday. So there's where it's higher.
Yeah.
It opened here and closed there. Incredible amounts of volume. I don't remember what this liquidation was.
Are you doing 5 days or 7 days? Because this is 24/7, isn't it?
This is yeah, that's right. Yeah. This is 24/7, that's right. So the Sunday, so there's the entry. And there's the exit, 18% higher. Saturday, Sunday. There we go. Week closes. That's right. Week closes on the 6th day. Does it? No. Should be 7. Did I not pick Monday? Oh. Now I'm just curious. from Saturday to Sunday. 18% with that 85% drop in between.
Crazy.
And so this is, look at how that ATR went up, right? Of course it went up here. This was the big spike. When that occurs, remember, that kind of volatility, if you lost it, you lost it. It's just the way that goes. You do not choose to do anything during that kind of volatility except buy. Don't try to sell it. You're not going to nail it. Just buy more. It's too volatile. But look, the ATR continued to rise. And so now here, that's $1.44. If you're doing it right and you're buying down in this area, you made 600%, 650%. And then we can see that that provided some resistance. What would I have done? Buy. Just buy. Whenever it's low, you're just buying dips. That's all you're doing. Just buy the dip. It's going on sale again. Look, it's on sale again. And what do? You sell. Yeah, so you would look in here. This is where it would be volatile. You'd have to be paying attention. There's this drop here. But this here is a very quick, yeah, look at that. There's a new high. We're creating a new high, and it drops. That's where I would have sold. Because we created a new high in ATR. So the moment that ATR dips back, I know we're losing that momentum for a bit. Now, in this case here, yeah, it continued to go down, still created nice big crest of the ATR. But that's fine, because I got my money here. I got my money right at the peak, that first new high. This I don't want to buy again until there's this dropping down. Once the ATR starts to slope, that's when you know to start dollar cost averaging. It's such a magical thing. I always laugh whenever I watch, and some people are really good. They've got great technical analysis, but they've got lines and graphs and curves and angles and, oh, look at how it happened at that weird angle. And I don't go that way. I like naked charts. I like these pivot lines when we're looking at things in a more day-to-day level, and then ATR for when I'm making my long-term choices.
What are your pivot lines based on? It's not the Fibonacci, is it?
No, the pivot lines, I'm looking for places where the highs and the lows bump up against each other, where the price pivots. Typically,
so you're creating your own pivot lines.
Yes. Well, okay. I'm drawing them based off of what the market would call a pivot line.
No, I understand that, but you're entering your own.
Oh, yeah.
Right. You're entering your own.
It's not algorithmic. I see what you mean. Like, I'm not using math to do it. I'm just drawing a line. And sometimes you have to adjust, because you can have a market season in this area here, and then it goes down. Oh, you just got to move the bars down a bit. But the key here is
those lines you have there Fibonacci, right?
No, these are not.
Well, off to the right, you have these little at the top. Was it 8.5 or
these lines here?
Yeah, what are they?
These ones are just lines, and right now they kind of need to be adjusted. But what they are where I have noticed the price pivots.
Okay.
So we have.
So you inserted those yourself?
Yep.
So where did the numbers come from? 5.3, 5.2?
Oh, I see. These numbers here, what I'm doing here, this is S5, so this is called support. So it's a support level.
Oh, that's okay. I got you.
Lower down, that usually is providing support for the price, and up high, those lines are usually providing resistance to the price.
Yeah,
And I just move them in. I try to keep the price action fairly close to the middle.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, good question. What else? Any other questions, comments? Hey, everybody, meet Gary. Gary, thanks for joining us today.
Meter, over 12 volts. It
There we
lights
go.
up home instantly and spins this motor like a beast. Who needs to buy batteries when you have salt and pipes? Do you think this is useful?
Oh, there we go. Thanks. Thanks, Audrey. I couldn't figure out where that was coming from. Maureen, how are you today?
Yeah, I want to apologize for yesterday. I had that emergency. I had to take care of it.
That's quite all right. Was
Is
everything
that
okay?
your real background? Seriously? Oh my God, I'm coming down there.
You're welcome. Come on down.
I don't know. You're wearing a toque.
I know it's cold. It's cold.
Okay, what's cold?
It's cold. It's in the 50s.
Oh.
I know. I know you Canadians. What can I say?
Heaven forbid.
But I'm in the sun, so like
Yeah.
you're a sun worshiper, don't you?
That's shorts and t-shirts for us.
Yeah.
At least a cold wind. I don't think t-shirt.
No, wait,
Well,
we would wear t-shirts. Yes.
I have to say, when we first started meeting in the barn, there were some days where it was like 5 degrees, 6 degrees, and Audrey's there in sandals.
My God.
Yeah.
Your
She's doing it.
circulation must be fabulous. Okay, now you guys were talking about these little lines, and of course I was wandering around the kitchen and trying to listen, but I'm working on my listening skills, not being so visual or kinesthetic, but just trying to listen and see how I can learn from that. I'm leaning into that. But that I just totally couldn't follow that at all. The little lines. So at some other point, maybe I think I have to hear it a couple of times.
Oh, yeah.
Before that becomes ADRs. Is that what it was? ADRs. My memory. So I have to have it in ink. It's sort of like in sand at the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. After you say it, it's all gone. But,
It does. It does take time. It's another language.
It is. And I'm noticing how good Ian is becoming at it. When you can ask questions, then you've got something going on in there. My question are, what did you say? That's a different kind of a question. Oh,
You guys want to see another fascinating chart?
yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do this on the 4-hour chart, and we're going to see a very interesting correlation. It's not always identical, but I'm going to show you something interesting about it anyways, because it goes to a more macro perspective. This is the gold price, okay? This is the gold price. You can see little dots that I've got here. We've got our old lines like we normally do, but I've added another type of indicator. This indicator actually tells us what moon phases it is. So the new moon is when the dot is above the price action. The full moon is indicated when the dot is below. And what I did was that I just colored them. So the new moon is gray. The full moon is blue. And what I've always noticed, and this is what I find interesting, is you can see, even in consolidation, it's like the price bounces back and forth between the moons, right? Isn't that something? Now, this is whoopsies. I didn't want to move that line, but that's okay. Let's go. What I want to show you is, now it's hard to see with this because of how many moons are being displayed. I want to show, and I might not be able to do it, not with this tool. I'd have to go hunting again for that tool. But what I want to show you, I don't think I won't be able to do it. What I find interesting about this is that when you take out the all of this here, and you look more at the trend lines themselves, when there's a shift in trend, it coincides with certain moons that are even lined up with other astrological signs, and they are like clockwork. They repeat in patterns. This particular tool doesn't do it. And I have always thought that interests. I have nothing. I don't know anything about astrology. I know more about that than I do astrology, and I just find that fascinating. How is it that the price of gold can be because it's like this particular moon is it's in that phase, but it's within a constellation, and it does the same type of price action every time the moon is in that constellation for the next year. That's how this chart was. But, well, again, I don't have that data right now, or access to that indicator, I should say. But it was fascinating to see the correlation, and I thought of you, Maureen, when I was looking at the moon cycles here over the last, I don't know, couple months now. I've just been pulling in this chart up just to see.
Well, I mean, just aside from astrology, when you just have the scientific evidence of it following the flow of tides and the correlation to emotion, yeah, and emotion, and people saying that the hospitals have a greater influx as well as the jails during those periods.
Yep.
So just that. So when you have if emotions are up during like a full moon, then fear and greed may be more up during that period. I don't know. I know that when I studied Chaldean astrology, which is one of the original astrologies, I think Egyptian and Babylonian is before that, but in Chaldea, they do a whole stock market thing. There's a whole group of people that do that, and it's a very secret kind of society.
Yeah.
To learn how to do that. So, but they do it, and it's a developed discipline. So, I just didn't want to ever get that involved in the stock market. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that.
Well, it's so worldly, it is, and there is the place for it. I'm learning more and more that what we experience as worldly is not bad. It's a learning environment, and I also get it. I've always felt whenever I've gone in and taken money from people, because it's a zero-sum game, I've always thought to myself, ooh, man, I wonder who lost their house on that one. I've thought the same thing. It is the stock market, to me. Most of that is dirty money. I believe that there can be a very strong case for a decentralized market, where now, oh yeah, you are actually worth that. Why? Oh, because look at your testimonies. Look at the people that have actually contributed equity to you. There. Look at how happy they are. That's a far better position to be in from a business perspective, because now you're being a human. That old system is actually set up in such a way that it incentivizes the lack of integrity in business. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to lose your integrity in order to win. But we are not subject to a monetary system. We ought not ever be subject to a monetary system where it's possible to monetarily incentivize corruption. We don't have to have a world like that.
When you say that, Paul, tell me what you mean. Give me an example. I just like to see it in the world. Not that I can't think of something, but I don't know that it's exclusively that. Or maybe even predominant. Like, say, someone enters this system. Okay, this is what happens to my mind. When you enter this system, it's like, what can I get out of this? How can I benefit without a we mentality? And is part of that we mentality what you're supporting? I don't know. I'm just playing around with this.
Yeah, this is good. This is good riffing. This is great. Audrey Lynn, earlier you and Ian were talking about the human connection. That is the core. That is the root for community building, for establishing that a high level of trust, where that safety is brought forward. And what we're experiencing now is that pendulum swinging, I believe. I talked about that at great length a couple of years ago. Social distancing was not something new in 2020. That I referenced the $10 billion weapon. That socially distanced us. And we're going through it again. But I believe that social distancing that occurred has also simultaneously created a buildup of energy, of longing for connection, because it's all artificial now. Everything's all the connections are now artificial. And that pendulum swinging the other way is going to bring about a flood of people who are looking for answers on how do we navigate this? How do we navigate this whole new paradigm? How do we guide them down the path? That I see is the trend that we're going to be experiencing. Maureen, does that help?
Yeah, I see it like that with that intention or that fullness of entry of spirit being included, that actually purifies the system.
Mm-hmm.
Roto-rooter.
I think we purify the system as we elevate our own consciousness, because we are all individual consciousnesses within the whole. And so as I do my work for me, hopefully that will radiate out to others, and that they can maybe witness me being something different. Maybe I can be an example to them of something different. Not that that's what I seek. What I seek is an elevated version of what this is.
Let your light shine that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Your I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I look at it. I'm just thinking it now. I'm exploring this whole feeling tone of what a fractal is, and how that's the then, and as that fractal has the pebble in the kind of stream or pond effect, in the sense that the more that join that, then it becomes greater and greater. And I'm just thinking of what kind of consciousness, there's a focus rather than joining the stream that's in front of us, which would be, the collective consciousness about financial work, is that actually there's like a attention paid to that part of us, which is the greater part of us. It is like the whole front. I don't know how to describe this. I'm just seeing it kind of in my own mind. Increased bandwidth of the good of all. Love, for lack of a better word, because it carries so much baggage, but the sense of love, and the sense of having the intention of holding the good for all. And how can I then support? Well, what do I support? Is that which is the good for all. I don't know. Because I think there's that it needs to be paid attention to. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Market analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Market analysis on the side of spirituality.
Yes, we're gonna throw in it all, and that's, for me, this is what makes it great. We can talk about anything you guys want, and I'll bring up charts wherever I see there's an opportunity. But for me, this is where the gold and silver is brought out, and it's minted with these kinds of experiences. So thank you, everybody, for being part of that.